Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zeng here, and today I'm back with another episode of Road to Ranked where I climb the online VGC 20 ladder and provide live commentary as I go. In yesterday's episode, we showed off Sejun Park's ranked #1 Drifblim team, so we'll be playing a couple of more games with it today, and let's just jump right into the episode. For the first game today, we're going up against a relatively standard team, but they do have Venusaur without Sun, which is interesting, so there is a world in which like Togekiss could Dynamax and set up Max Flare, or just Max Airstreams for Venusaur, and then NDD, which is also a pretty interesting option here. So, let's see. The big question always is, can I lead with Milotic and Drifblim? And I don't think the answer is yes here because of the threat of Rotom, Togekiss, or I should say redirection from NDD, meaning that Max Phantasm does absolutely nothing, plus the fact that they have two things that really threaten the Drifblim. So, the question then is who I want to lead with. Let's see. Excadrill does not seem too bad here. Something like Excadrill Arcanine makes some sense because we get an initial Intimidate with Arcanine, and then Excadrill can do a fair amount of damage to a lot of things. Actually, the more I look at it, the more I realize that this is an amazing Ferrothorn game. Ferrothorn just hard wins if we KO Togekiss. I guess Tyranitar might have a Fire-type attack as well, so we do have to watch out about that. I don't think we bring Drifblim into this matchup as much as I'd like to. I'm going to go Ferrothorn, and the last one's actually between Mimikyu and Milotic. Mimikyu actually has some value because of Disguise here, and Woodhammer. But Milo is quite bulky, and has Icy Wind. I'm going to bring Mimikyu. Yeah, I'm going to just try to overwhelm my opponent with offense in this one. So, yeah, if you want to try out this team, guys, there is a paste for it, or I guess a team report for it, as well as a rental code. This was built by Sejun Park, the 2014 World Champion. And yeah, as always, if you guys enjoy Road to Ranked, please show your support by leaving a like in the video. I'd really appreciate it. I'm uploading this video a little bit earlier because I will be streaming later today at around 5 to 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So I hope to see some of you guys there at twitch.tv/CybertronVGC. And it's just going to be Togekiss and Excadrill. Okay, so Intimidate here is already a good start. And like I said, Togekiss is the one thing that I really want to check right now. This is interesting because, I mean, it's a relatively free Max Steel Spike into that slot, but they could switch into Rotom. So one switch in they have. I could also see that switching out into, like, Tyranitar. See, the thing here is, the big question is basically how well does my opponent identify the threat? Like, what I also could do is actually just double up onto Excadrill with a... Oh, I guess I don't have Flare Blitz, or sorry, Max Quake. I honestly really want to double up on Togekiss, because if I could just get a KO on that, I think Ferrothorn just insta-wins. So, I mean, this is a little aggressive, but Steel Spike Flare Blitz should KO Tyranitar, should that switch in. And Togekiss stays in, which is very good for us, I think. It might choose the Dynamax, though, which could be scary, and go for something like a Max Flare. But, especially if we win the Speed tie between Excadrills, assuming we Speed tie, and I get a Steel Spike off, I'll get the defense boost as well. I could see Togekiss maxing, but yeah, if we can KO Togekiss, I think Ferrothorn just hard wins this game. Okay, so let's see who they Dynamax. In an ideal world, it's Excadrill Dynamaxing so that we can just KO Togekiss, because I don't think Excadrill is nearly as much of a threat, given that we have Ferrothorn in the back. It is Togekiss maxing. Okay, nice play by my opponent. Now I have to wonder if they're Airstreaming, Flaring. A lot of questions there. We could have maybe switched out the Arcanine then. Okay. No protects or switch outs. That's a lot of damage from Flare Blitz, and we get a burn. If it's not Babiri Berry, it might just faint here from the Steel Spike, honestly. It's not Babiri. Okay, well, let's see if this KOs. I think I'll probably hang on with a little bit of HP. Oh, no. Wow. That is a very, very good turn one for us. Like, as good as can be. Yeah, so the burn didn't end up mattering, but yeah, I mean, my opponent just lost their Dynamax Pokemon immediately. That's why I wanted to aggressively target it. Now they don't even have a Maxmon to play with, plus I've got Ferrothorn in the back. He's going to have Earthquake, though, okay. But we take that pretty well. Nice. I mean, the main thing is, sure, now you can control the weather with Tyranitar, but your Excadrill outspeeding doesn't really scare me. Plus, we know it's Earthquake. It might have Earthquake and high horsepower, so shouldn't discount the possibility of both. But either way, my Excadrill's in a really good spot, and like I said, I was just setting myself up for Ferrothorn for this late game. So we knocked out the one thing that definitely is likely to have a Fire-type attack. I'm not worried about Excadrill at all with Ferrothorn, so the only thing other thing we have to be careful about is the Tyranitar, which sometimes carry Fire-type attacks, but they're actually just going to swap in the NDD, which is okay with me. Okay. Can't Extreme Speed, but, I mean, Arcanine's faster than Excadrill here, so we could just double up onto Excadrill. I think Flare Blitz and Steel Spike is fine. Yeah, because that's, like, if you don't follow me, we just KO the Excadrill. And if you follow me, we KO the Entity. I'd rather go for defense boost right now as opposed to special defense boosts. Okay, so Entity just follow me, so that's fine. I could have swapped out Arcanine for another Intimidate. Actually, because I have Flare Blitz and Close Combat, maybe that would have been worth it. But I also don't mind just getting a KO here, because if I pick up 2 quick knockouts... actually, I guess Entity could also have Max Flare. Or, sorry, Mystical Fire. So, I mean, knocking that out is always good as well. Yeah, so I wanted to just put on early pressure here. We do outspeed the Excadrill again, so I'm wondering if we speed type like the Excadrill there just isn't max speed, because they're not Molt Breaker, they're obviously Sand Rush. But it should be another Earthquake here, yep. Oh my goodness, after Intimidating the 2 defense boosts, our Excadrill tanks that like a champ. Okay. I don't want to bring Ferrothorn out yet. Ferrothorn wins super hard 1v1 against Excadrill, so all we need to do is just knock out the slot next to Excadrill now, which I think would be Tyranitar, but let's see. It's actually Rotom, which is even better, because now Ferrothorn just definitely wins. Great. So with that, I mean, Rotom's probably going to protect, but I don't mind playing it safe. I mean, we have Ferrothorn in the back anyway, yeah, so I don't really see how my opponent wins this. Yeah, there's a world in which, like, if... I mean, it's easy to double up onto Excadrill here, but... I think we just KO Rotom. We'll Max Quake. Because we're not going to get KO'd by any attack from Ferrothorn, or Excadrill anyway. Yeah. And I don't want to reveal the Woodhammer yet. So Rotom probably protects here, yeah. I mean, obviously could have predicted that and doubled up onto the Excadrill, but I don't think there's really any need for that. Because also if I... Oh, I forgot the terrain is up. That was silly. But the thing is, Max Quick still does a ton of damage, enough where Woodhammer should KO Rotom next turn anyway, and we have Disguise. Yeah, so we're perfectly protected here. And like I said, this whole time I was just building myself up for the Ferrothorn endgame, so the fact that we just KO'd Togekiss tournament was obviously incredible. And I think people often don't expect so much damage from Arcanine, mainly because it is typically, you know, like you run like max HP, max speed, instead of having a lot of bulk. Or sorry, you run max HP, max speed instead of having a lot of attack, is what I meant to say. So, Rotom protected, Disguise is broken, but now I can just Woodhammer. I'll probably protect here. I mean, Ferrothorn should theoretically just win 2v1 here, especially because Rotom revealed Protect as well. If you have Protect, it's very hard to fit, like, Nasty Plot as well. You could run Nasty Plot, Thunderbolt, Hydro Pump, Protect, actually. So, I shouldn't say really hard, but if you're running that set, then you don't have a way to really hit Ferrothorn even after Nasty Plotting, and, like, Iron Defense Body Press might just KO Rotom. Either way, we have Woodhammer here, so it doesn't really end up mattering. Would have been smarter to probably play rough the Excadrill. Rotom actually goes for the double and doesn't get it, which I actually think was a good play. Curious if the Excadrill here just opted for a Iron Head or an Earthquake. Once again, it doesn't make that much of a difference because we have the Ferrothorn in the back anyway. But if they did go for the Iron Head here, yeah, that would have been their best play. But no, they just opted for Earthquake. Okay. And Earthquake wouldn't have knocked out Mimikyu anyway, I think, before the Intimidate. Actually, I mean, I meant before the Recoil, but it actually just took that like a champ anyway. So, yeah, very nice. Yeah, I mean, with Ferrothorn in the back, I'm just going to Iron Head. Just get guaranteed damage right now. And I'll actually Protect here. I mean, I could have played this out in multiple different ways. And it might have been better to Protect Mimikyu and Earthquake. Yeah, I don't know why Iron Head instead of Earthquaking there. But, okay, he's just going to Protect. I mean, there's no way to win with Body Press Ferrothorn in the back. Plus, this Excadrill's at -1 attack, and we're at +2 defense, Excadrill. I probably could have played this endgame a little bit better, but after that turn 1, it would have been pretty tough to lose this game, I think. Yeah, I don't want to Woodhammer because... Oh, do I Faint from Recoil anyway? I mean, we win with Ferrothorn anyway. Excadrill, even if it crits an Earthquake, doesn't KO us. I just go for the double. Okay. Yeah, I don't really see the point in going for a double there. It's not like you accomplish anything through that. Stalling out the game, I guess. As Woodhammer actually almost just KOs Excadrill. Yeah, so we Faint with Mimikyu, but now we get Ferrothorn in. Yeah. So Ferrothorn ended up not even being super relevant, but this whole game, the whole game plan was to basically win Ferrothorn early game. It's a shame because I really wanted to go with Drifblim, and my opponent actually didn't end up bringing the Tyranitar, which is one of the main things you don't want to see with Drifblim, but the threat of Indeedee meant that I couldn't afford to bring Tyranitar, or sorry, the threat of Indeedee meant that I couldn't afford to bring Drifblim. Yeah, this Excadrill was definitely just slower. So the fact they didn't bring Tyranitar meant that we could consistently outspeed, which was nice as well, because getting that Steel Spike off before the Earthquake was a really, really big deal. So ultimately, yeah, turn 1, then just going Dynamax with Tyranitar, us just getting a KO. With Togekiss, I have really been mixing Pokemon up today. Dynamaxing with Togekiss allowed us to just pick up a KO, which was really nice. So I'm quite curious on the sets there, actually. Citrus, Nasty Plot, yeah. Sash with EQ. Huh, interesting. They didn't even have Max Flare, actually, in the end, so they were probably just going for Max Airstream there. Yeah, pretty standard sets across the board here. And there was actually Mystical Fire on NDD, so that was really their only way of dealing with the Ferrothorn, which is also why, you know, thought, okay, in that position, if you don't follow me, I just KO your Excadrill. If you follow me, I KO your NDD. So, yeah, I mean, that game was just one off a really, really good turn 1, I think, and as much as I'd like to show off Drifblim, that probably wasn't the best game for it. Even considering the leads, like, the problem is just that NDD gives us a fair amount of trouble because it redirects our Max Phantasms. This, however, could be a decent Drifblim game. The only thing we have to worry about is the Dragapult, which is kind of a big threat, I think, but this is a game where we could theoretically Dynamax Milotic, and if they... I feel like they always lead Dragapult, actually. Something like Dragapult Grimmsnarl or Dragapult Togekiss is pretty consistent here, so if I want to read that, I could just... Although the thing is, if you do max Dragapult, I could just max Milotic and bait you into attacking me, which I kind of like. I don't like Arcanine that much here. Theoretically, Body Press Ferrothorn is quite good here, right? Mainly because my opponent doesn't have great ways to hit it other than Arcanine. I don't know, it's not amazing. I do think I want the Mimikyu here because of Woodhammer for Gastrodon, which I think is definitely going to come out in this matchup considering I have a Milotic. And the last one's between Excadrill, Ferrothorn, and Arcanine. I'm leaning towards Ferrothorn just because I don't even know if my opponent will want to bring Arcanine considering the Milotic. So I think I'm going to opt for that. Alright, let's see. Excadrill is never a bad Pokemon to bring because even outside of Dynamax with Focus Sash, you're pretty much guaranteed a strong Iron Head or Earthquake off. But I don't know, I think like Ferrothorn can just win against teams even when they do have a Fire-type attack or Fire-type Pokemon if you just check that threat, you know, earlier than later, which is kind of like what we were going for in that last game. You're going to just offer Grimmsnarl on Mudsdale, okay. I guess this is still tricky, but we could actually Dynamax the Milotic here. Maxing Milotic does not seem like a bad idea, does it? The main reason I want to max Milotic is just because of how much damage it does. Oh, but I guess you could easily switch Grimmsnarl out, which would cause me some problems. I'm just going to max the Drifblim then. Besides, you don't get to max Drifblim that often, so it's fun to just go for that. Yeah, so we're just going to max Drifblim and Phantasm and Brutal Swing. I mean, they might set up a light screen. If people, people normally when they see Drifblim, and if they haven't seen this team, expect physical Drifblim as well, so my opponent... I mean, you probably set up light screen here because you expect Milotic to be the main threat, but that's alright with me. I mean, if we get the Brutal Swing combination off, Drifblim outspeeds their entire team. Mudsdale might Dynamax and might go for a max Rockfall, which would do a fair amount of damage, but not the end of the world. I do think you would want to target the Milotic down as well because of how much of a threat it is. So, I don't know. I mean, maybe maxing Milotic would have been better here. I also am slightly worried about, like, the trick stuff, but it's very rare to see Trick Eject Button here. Grimmsnarl and Mudsdale is almost always, like, self-swagger and stuff. I guess they could just go for a turn 1 swagger, couldn't they? Yeah, that's what they're going for. Okay. Okay. I'm thinking you target the Milotic here. So if you do target Milotic, and then I get the free switch into Mimikyu, I can just double up on Mudsdale next turn, especially after a Phantasm defense drops. I could Life Orb Woodhammer it, but not very much damage, honestly. I think another Phantasm and Woodhammer would KO, but big question is who's Mudsdale targeting here? I would think it's Quake into Milotic. Okay, yeah. I guess that does give it a special defense boost, though. You could just swagger again this next turn, couldn't you? But then it'll be at -2 defense, and I think -2 defense would, like, Woodhammer should KO. I'm just gonna take a ton of recoil with Mimikyu, but I think that's fine. I honestly don't know. I mean, how well it's gonna take this. I think it should KO. Yeah, that first one did around, like, 40% too. We're going to just Phantasm, lower its defense stat again, and Woodhammer with Mimikyu. Mimikyu's just going to end up taking so much recoil damage, but I think we still have to go for it. I don't know what the better turn one there is. If I max my Lodic, I do get a max Geyser off, but I take so much damage in return. And then if Grimmsnarl's Thunder Wave, you can just Thunder Wave the Milotic, which would be really bad as well. So I don't mind this too much. I'm going to set up Light Screen. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, this Mudsteel is going to take this Max Phantasm way better, so then it's a question of whether Woodhammer can KO at -2 defense. It's close. I think it should KO at -2 defense. I'd be surprised if it's hung on, but we're about to find out. If we get this KO, I think we're in a great spot. If not, we're in a lot of trouble. Okay, nice. Let's go, Mimikyu. Let's see how much recoil we take here. I think it's going to be like 60% plus Life Orb, my guess. A little bit less, actually. It was around 50%. Oh, actually, after Life Orb, it was just over 50, so kind of close to 60. Not bad. Intuition is decent there. So we have one more turn of Max. They have Light Screen. We know as Swagger. I mean, it's almost always Clay on the Grimmsnarl. We've got Ferrothorn in the back, but they bring out Arcanine, which is obviously not a good thing to see here, because Ferrothorn has a terrible matchup against that. So the goal is to knock out the Arcanine, but that's easier said than done. I would like to reset the Intimidate here onto the Mimikyu, and I don't think you Flare Blitz into it. Actually, you could. There is a world in which I see that happening, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I would expect like a Light Screen here. Yeah, honestly, I think just play rough into Grimmsnarl and a Phantasm into Arcanine is fine. He's actually attacking here with the Grimmsnarl. Okay, that's interesting. Oh, that is so much damage. If I Shadow Sneak there, or Shadow Snuck, I would have just KO'd. I think play rough might still KO the Grimmsnarl here. We'll see. It's a Berry on Arcanine. But I think that still might just be in Shadow Ball KO range, which is good. If we hit the play rough here, I think we'll be in a good spot. Alright, play rough connects. This is KO. Nice. Life Orb Mimikyu is so good. Yeah, because it combos so well with Max Phantasm from Drifblim. You get all these defense drops on everything. You're just going to opt for Snarl. Okay. Well, Drifblim has been fantastic for us in this game. Yeah, and I'm glad in the end I did not Dynamax out my Lodic. I also love Dynamax Drifblim because it literally is just kind of floating around, but moving very slowly. Okay, so we're in a good spot right now. We are obviously intimidated, and screens are up, plus we're snarled. But if we KO the Arcanine, Togekiss could have a fire type attack. Comes down to whether Togekiss has a fire type attack. I guess the other problem here is that you can just redirect attacks away, which is not good for us. If I had Excadrill in the back, this game would have been a lock, but I brought Ferrothorn instead. And now that I look at it, I do think Ferrothorn was kind of a bad bring. Yeah. Alright, let's try to play out of this, though. +1 special attack. 3 turns of Light Screen. Reflect isn't up. You probably follow me. Maybe Snarl? I do have Thunder, right? I don't know if it's worth risking Thunder, though, instead of just Shadow Balling. I'm going to double up onto Arcanine here. Let's see if they follow me. They don't follow me. Okay. I mean, if Play Rough hits here, it might have been better to have gone for Shadow Sneak. Oh, Shadow Ball just KOs anyway. Never mind. Drifblim is so good. Oh my god. Play Rough connects. Okay, nice. Now it comes down to the Togekiss set. Do you have Heat Wave? And are you Crit Kiss? Okay, Drifblim takes that. It is Crit Kiss, it looks like, which makes me scared because I think it's decently likely to have Heat Wave. But if you Heat Wave, I mean, what we can do here is definitely protect the Ferrothorn to bait out the Heat Wave. If they don't go for a Heat Wave here, then we're good. They might also have Flamethrower, so I think it's always good to protect Ferrothorn. I don't want to risk the Thunder quite yet, because Shadow Ball could also get a Spadef drop. And I think Shadow Ball plus the Thunder next turn KOs Togekiss anyway. So, ooh, they have Protect, actually. If it has Protect, I'm guessing it has Heat Wave too, especially because my opponent didn't go for the Follow Me. So, this is going to be tricky, I think. It might rely on hitting a Thunder, but I think we still Shadow Ball here. Yeah. I'm going to just Leech Seed. I don't know if Shadow Ball plus Thunder even KOs Togekiss. I guess screens are up, right? But there's still one... they're going to be... Yeah. I mean, Thunder's not KOing here anyway, and Shadow Ball can get a Spadef drop, so I'm going to go for Shadow Ball. And if they weren't likely for some reason, then another Shadow Ball might KO if we get a special defense drop. Or crit. That could happen too. Alright, that's game then. And we got the special defense drop. Oh, jeez. And they didn't have Heat Wave. Okay, we were good then. Yeah, nice. I mean, that's one of the reasons why people are teching in Heat Wave back onto Togekiss now, because Ferrothorn is becoming more common. So, given that my opponent didn't have Heat Wave or Flamethrower, I mean, we saw Air Slash, Dazzling Gleam, Protect, so I guess Follow Me could have been the last attack. I was kind of surprised not to have seen the Follow Me when Arcanine was out with Togekiss, but yeah, I think my opponent just wanted damage. So, this was an amazing Drifblim game. I mean, Drifblim hard carry this one, I think. And it looked kind of scary. I guess I shouldn't give all the credit to Drifblim because Milotic diverted a lot of pressure away from the Drifblim, and then with the defense drops from Max Phantasm, Mimikyu was able to put in a ton of work as well. So it's not like Drifblim was like the only thing that thrived in this game, but it was just a combination of everything, which was quite nice. So yeah, I think nothing too crazy here. Yep, it was Follow Me. So I'm surprised yet no Follow Me with that Arcanine. It was actually Wide Lens on Grimmsnarl. Oh, wow. I mean, that makes sense to increase your Swagger accuracy, and he was going for Foul Play the turn I KO'd him. Yeah, bulky Arcanine. So pretty similar to Alex Agloz's team. I was able to get rank 1 on the ladder a while back, but yeah, we take those. Not bad. Glad to have featured Drifblim and all of its goodness in that game. And I think one of the reasons why Drifblim was a pretty good lead in that matchup is because the one thing that I was really scared about on my opponent's side was the Dragapult, but if they maxed the Dragapult and Phantasm into Drifblim, like if they led Dragapult, I'd probably just either sack Drifblim or switch Drifblim now and max Milotic turn 1. We're going up against the Tailwind team here. I'm pretty sure that's Choice Band Lightning Rod Rhyperior. I mean, we've run into that. We've used it ourselves. And, like, my opponent has Tailwind. And we've seen a pretty similar core. So, that's what I expect here. That's pretty scary, I guess. We do have Max. I mean, Mimikyu's actually pretty interesting here because we can just Wood Hammer. The problem is if I Brutal Swing. I mean, maybe leading Milotic is okay, although Brutal Swing actually isn't good because then it would activate Defiant. Huh. They need to bring Chandelure. I don't know how I feel about leading Mimikyu, although we could have Max Overgrowth. I mean, I think the main problem here is just Braviary. I'm actually very concerned about that. We have Max Rockfall, but I'm not sure how much that value that adds. Extra Milotic is actually kind of tempting here, I think. Just because Milo does put on a lot of pressure immediately against the... Oh, actually, no, I don't like... this is tricky. I'm going to go Drifblim and Mimikyu. We might have timed out there. But I really don't know what the 4 to bring in this match was. I mean, even if we time out, it's not the end of the world. Yeah, this one is really tricky, mainly because it's the threat of Tailwind, but the threat of Braviary as well, plus Choice Band on the Rhyperior. So, let's see. They ended up going with Whimsicott and Rhyperior, which means just Tailwind Band EQ, normally. And we did end up timing out, but that's alright. I guess my lead of Milotic and, yeah, my Milotic lead would have worked out alright here, but, I mean, I guess it's not the end of the world. I do think you just Rock Slide Tailwind here. If you Rock Slide, though, and you know what's really interesting? Because we do have the Berry, or sorry, Weakness Policy. Like, we could actually just max Airstream here into the Whimsicott and Extreme Speed, because I do think that's going to be banded on the Rhyperior. And we did get the Intimidate off here. So by Airstreaming, actually I might want to switch out Arcanine here as well. No, I don't mind staying in. And actually just going for a close combat, because if I just sack the Arcanine, I get a free switch into Milotic. So this actually maybe might work out, especially if they just click regular Rock Slide. Because then what happens is, I get the Airstream off, and then I close combat your Rhyperior, which I think is going to be Lightning Rod in this case. I mean, especially with this lead, it's just screaming Choice Band. Like, Choice Band Rhyperior has been popping up. It got rank 1 in the last season, as you guys saw we were using earlier a while ago. Yeah, so they don't max. Yep. So it's playing out exactly how I expected to so far. Which means this Rhyperior probably outspeeds the Arcanine, but... Rock... So if that didn't one-hit KO, I was like, oh, we're fine. But here's the problem. It got the one-hit KO. What in the world is the damage roll on that? Oh my goodness. Rhyperior against Drifblim. And this Drifblim, granted, Rock Wreckler isn't even in the game. Or in the damage calc. I'm pretty sure, or I keep calling it Wreckler, it's Rock Wrecker. I guess it's not the end of the world. I mean, theoretically, do you get to bring in Milotic? It's 150 base power choice band. I'm sure it's max attack. I'm just really at a loss for words there. I thought we would definitely survive. Nope. That's a guaranteed knockout, too. Oh, wait, no, he was intimidated. That is still a guaranteed knockout. I mean, I guess Drifblim's defense is terrible, but holy cow. I should have not maxed and maybe gone for a Tailwind then, because then I could have maxed the Milotic, which maybe would have worked out. Okay, let's Muddy Water here. We need to KO that guy and just Flare Blitz. The problem here is we're obviously playing without Dynamax and Tailwind is up, so we're probably going to lose this game. But if they activate competitive here, there's a chance. Probably not because they'll have Rotom in the back. They don't activate competitive. Okay. I mean, we pick up a double KO here. It's not the end of the world, but oh, and they're not even Focus Sash on Whimsicott. Which means it's going to be Sash on the Chandler, if I had to guess. Well, this game highlights everything good about... I mean, I should have just considered the Banded Rock Wrecker. Because I think Rock Slide doesn't KO with Intimidate. And because it's spread damage. I mean, Rock Wrecker just does so much more damage. Yeah, Rock Slide doesn't come very close to KOing. But there's Braviary, which is the main thing I was worried about. And Togekiss. Man, Max Drifblim actually was so good in this matchup, too. But because it's Choice Banded, I mean, I should expect Rock Wrecker, right? That's not a surprise by any means. We just get blown through by Braviary now, because you can just Dynamax and Airstream. And I mean, Braviary is what I was worried about to begin with, anyway. Yeah, we could go for an Ice Beam Freeze. I think that's our out. If, for some reason, my opponent doesn't KO the Milotic and we freeze Braviary as it Dynamaxes, that's our only out here, I think. You can also just Dynamax Togekiss, honestly, but I think if I were my opponent's shoes, I Dynamax the Braviary and I max Airstream into the Milotic slot. Anyway, now I know. I mean, I knew it was going to be Choice Banded Rhyperior, so I don't know why I didn't assume Rock Wrecker. I mean, you're going to run Earthquake Rock Slide for sure, but then you have a lot of different options. You can run like Fire Punch, Rock Wrecker. I mean, I guess those are the main options. He does Airstream into the Arcanine, though. So if we get a freeze here, I'm not saying there's a chance, but there's a chance. Maybe. I just think the Braviary matchup is really shaky here to begin with. And Drifblim actually was the best Pokemon to deal with it. We're going to need to get very lucky to win this. But they crit. Okay, so it's probably not... Okay. Can we freeze? No. Alright, that's probably the game then. It was worth a shot. I mean, we did time out. I did want to lead Milotic and Excadrill. I think that was the lead I was intending on, but the reason why I didn't like that so much was because I felt like that doesn't have a very good matchup into the Braviary. But I think we should probably lead Milotic into this game just because we have the Assault Vest and we can max it, and max Ice is really good here. Yeah. Okay, I mean, they don't think we really have any outs now. Unless for some reason they don't KO and we manage to pick up a knockout onto the Braviary. Disguise is broken. I mean, there's not really many outs. Yeah, I mean, you should always Airstream the Milotic here too. Yeah, correct. Nice. Well played. Well, very, very well played. Well, Drifblim tried its best, folks. And I do think this would have been a substantially different game if I just didn't max Drifblim turn 1. I just did not realize how powerful Choice Band Rock Wrecker is. To see a Dynamax Mon just get one shot like that, it's very sad. You live and you learn. Yeah. The intended lead of Milotic would have been great, because what we could have done is my opponent didn't even have a switch in into Max Geysers. We could just Max Milotic and Geyser into the Rhyperior. And they didn't really have any switch outs there. But that was a fun game. I mean, I can't complain. Honestly, I thought I was in a really good spot because if they don't have Rock Wrecker and they go for a Rock Slide and we get that Airstream off, I actually think we just win the game off that turn 1 then, because then the following turn I can just Extreme Speed KO and then Phantasm to KO the Rhyperior and then Max Lightning whatever comes in. So I don't really regret the Drifblim play. I mean, I do regret it in the sense that if I'm expecting Choice Band Rhyperior, it should be Rock Wrecker. It's a risky play on their end too, because if I don't Dynamax, you give me a free switch in into like the Milotic, then you're in a really tricky spot because then I can pick up a double KO without having committed my Dynamax. If I didn't commit my Dynamax to Drifblim, then I think Milotic could have Dynamaxed in this game, and that would beat the Togekiss and the Braviary in the end game potentially. But I do think Braviary and Team Preview made this match very scary to begin with. So yeah, that was definitely an episode. Anyway, that's going to be it for this one, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. As always, if you did, please show your support by leaving a like. Thanks for watching. Hope to catch you at my stream a little bit later today, and see you guys soon. All right, peace.